Hello, this is Wmpyr, here to talk about Professor Bram Frank's Desangut, which is this is his Filipino martial arts Karambit, essentially. Okay, so I purchased this from the professor roughly 1 year ago. So it's been a year of me, training with this thing, practicing, messing around. So just wanted to share anything new, just new 2 cents that I've discovered or think today. What do I think now? So it's kind of an update video. Okay, so first before I forget, the professor really likes the Pac-Man move, and with his other knives, you could do the Pac-Man no problem. With this one, I want to show that you could still do it. You could still do the Pac-Man right here. The only thing is because the blade is curved, you get, I feel like, a little bit less space, and then you have to navigate over the ring. So to me, it's a little bit perhaps harder to do, but I feel like you could still do it. So the Pac-Man, the professor told me, was a huge thing for him because on his, here, this is one of his more standard shape knives. And he was in a situation over there in Israel, from my understanding, that he was training with special forces people. I guess it was live training, so they were in the city. And he encountered someone that, like a crazy person, that came and tried to attack him. So at that point, he took out his knife. But when he took out his knife, normally, he takes out his knife, and then right here, he's ready to go, right? He could use this way, the ramp. He could use, this. But when he pulled it out, he told me that he ended up in this grip. And just that small difference, going instead of this, it was this. And just because of that, he was completely thrown off. And of course, because it's a real life situation, his heart's pounding. This crazy person's coming at him. So he's freaking out, right? And this threw him off enough that he didn't know what to do. He was like, what do I do? All of his techniques, everything like went out the window. And he said he just naturally reacted and he went like that. And that was the birth of the Pac-Man. So that's the Pac-Man. So he went and did that. That's this grip. And when he did that, he said he chopped off, I believe, 2 of the guy's fingers. And that ended the situation. And later he went back to his hotel and he was terrified. And the adrenaline dump I think he was coming down from it, from the adrenaline high. And he was thinking, what happened? What did I do? And that was the birth of the Pac-Man. So he loves the Pac-Man, okay? And he talks about how he feels that the Pac-Man is way superior to the Pakal grip because it's much safer, even though it's the same idea because the blade is in the same angle. So anyway, it's nice to know that his Desangut could do the Pac-Man, if needed. So anyway, the way that I see it is more so, this is a sound thing. So if I do use it, I'm not necessarily trying to snip off anything. It might be more so that, I'm just scaring them psychologically, because this is like some kind of beast snapping its jaws at you, that's the way I see Pac-Man as. But okay, so the main thing about his knife is that you could take it closed, right? You take it out closed, and so you take it out and you just use it closed. You don't have to worry about anything. You have to do anything. Just use it closed. So the first things first is right here. Boom, right? You could use the Bramp finger, and obviously that is a force multiplier because you're putting all this force into one tiny spot, obviously. But I also noticed that with this, you can hook much easier. So I have other Karambits from different brands, and they just have the ring. You can't really hook. Yes, they're not designed for that, but this one I can hook. The other thing is, yeah, if you don't want to hit with a small surface, You could hit obviously with the rings because the ring becomes like a single knuckle duster, right? So you could do that. But I'm noticing right here, right where the finger and the ring meet, this to me, this shape, this whole thing right here, from here to here, is like this. This, you push somebody back, okay? So when I want to push someone back, instead of using one small point to push them back, I want this wedge, essentially. So it creates that wedge. So I really, really like that. So in the reverse grip, now I feel like this becomes a non-lethal impact karambit, okay, for self-defense. So this portion sticking out, and of course you got the ring. So this is a non-bladed karambit. And of course you could hammer fist with this, boom. You hammer fist, and then from here, you could tilt it and bring it down, and it scrapes, the ramp scrapes. And if you punch, you can see the ramp wants to make contact. I could punch at an angle this way, and the ramp still wants to make contact. And then of course I could go side to side, and all of this involving the ramp, it scrapes. So if I'm scraping off their DNA, you know, that's something that I could possibly potentially use, you know, give to the police and say, there, that's his DNA, you know. So it's always good to have evidence on your side, right? So the other thing is, now let's talk about deploying the blade. So because I took it out and I'm using it closed, it's already in my hand. So at this point, I could deploy the blade with a thumb, no problem, or I could use the ramp like so, and you know, just hook on just about anything you can find to deploy the blade, just like I did. And once you do that, I'm noticing another similarity with this area right here. This, I really, really like this area because it shaped like this. Once again, to push them off of me. Just because I have lethal force capability does not mean I want to go straight to lethal force, you know. I'd rather go less than lethal, and then with this, I could shove them off of me, so I could go non-lethal. So I really, really like that option there. This is a really nice wedge to do that kind of technique. So I really, really like that. Of course, the original purpose, the main purpose was for hooking and trapping, moving limbs out of the way. And you can see that it has the jimping, the teeth on there to help you hook better. So it's just really well designed in that sense. Now another thing I got to point out, which I'm sure I did before, is this right here. You see this? So the lock is designed to be extra strong. So probably the lock failing is not going to happen, but for some reason it didn't lock all the way or something like that, right? For some Murphy's Law. If this happens, look, I really, really like that generous choil area for your finger. Like this, it feels super safe. It doesn't hurt. That's just really nice. I really like that. That kind of safety to me is a huge in my book. So, you know, that's really great. So yeah, that's really some of the things that I've noticed, which I may have covered in the past before. There's more capabilities, you know, like you could use the horns. These are called the horns right here, and you could use the horns for scraping. You could go side to side and once again scrape too. So there's plenty of other features on this thing, but yeah, just something I noticed once again, and it is an amazing knife. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.